Hey everyone, Matron here bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary, this time Game 7, the final deciding game in the clan war between Root Gaming and Fnatic Gaming. Root Druby was able to even it up at 3 games apiece, taking down Sen in the last game, and now will be facing a Terran opponent in a TVT and Greetorb. So, let's get started here. We are on Metalopolis, and Root Druby spawning as the blue Terran, Greetorb spawning as the red Terran, and we will be on close positions here, so may see a bit of early aggression, not too large of a rush distance between the two players. Oftentimes we see the starting positions on Metalopolis really dictate what sort of strategies the players go for. So with these close positions, I imagine we'll see a lot of back and forth in the early going and throughout. So once these players scout their opponent, I'm sure their build orders and attack styles will reflect the close positions here, as we see both players just chatting back and forth. Again, this is the final deciding match, so winner take all, and they'll go ahead and put their team ahead and take the entire Clan War series. So you see both players opening up with the initial supply depot, and be interested to see whether one or both players try to go for some sort of 2 racks pressure. It's really popular in the other matchups, and it looks like Greetorb getting out a refinery before his barracks even, so maybe trying to tech up as quickly as possible. It looks like Druby going for a first barracks and creating it very close to the ramp, so he'll be able to stream out Marines and stop and shut down any sort of scouting by Greetorb. Neither player scouting quite yet, as Greetorb throwing down his barracks as well. And again, I imagine that both players will scout this position, or their opponent's position first. Typically the first one you do scout on Metalopolis is the close position. You really have to be careful that your opponent is not trying any sort of early pressure, and it just helps you get your build up and running, as we do see Druby adding that gas on himself. So Greetorb a little bit faster on that gas, a little bit slower on the barracks, and sending out his SCV first. So the SCV of Druby coming down as well, and they will meet here. So Greetorb, knowing that his opponent just has this 1 racks up at the moment, and he's going to want to try to get the gas timing. You can click on it and see how much gas is left. And yeah, now pulling back, it looks like Greetorb now activating or adding a factory here. So quickly going towards a factory build. In TVT we often see a lot of Marines, a lot of tanks, and then we see Vikings and Banshees trying to control the airspace. So I imagine Greetorb will be going for a 1-1-1 build here, getting out his first Marine. And I believe that Druby poked up here, but I'm not sure he went far enough. It did not look like he went, and he saw that factory or the gas timing. So Druby running sort of with blinders on at the moment, getting up a factory of his own, and maybe something about well, maybe he got some sort of information that I'm not seeing, but just seeing the factory there as Greetorb gets a little bit supply capped, he will not know that a 1-1-1 build is coming, so sort of blindly going into a factory build, and I imagine a starport following this as well, getting a reactor on that barracks, so a lot of Marines coming for Druby. If we check the army count, he does have the advantage right now, 3 Marines compared to the 2 of Greetorb, and Greetorb poking up there going to get a approximate size of Druby's army. And Greetorb now creating a Hellion, so a few Marines and Hellion pushing out for the red Terran, and he will be going, trying to apply a little bit of pressure to the front door of Druby. Druby getting out his own Hellion and his own starport. So we see that looks like Druby may actually be ahead in minerals and maybe even army count. He does have this reactor up, so he'll rocket ahead shortly with 5 Marines now compared to the 3 of Greetorb. But Greetorb just a little bit faster on that tech, as both players do not want to lose early units here. Greetorb losing 2 Marines. That's pretty big in the early going here, as 5 Marines and this Hellion very quick, going to be able to chase down this Marine, taking it down, leaving Greetorb with just a Marine and a Hellion, trying to defend against this push. The Hellion pushes in here with 5 Marines, and Druby streaming a few more Hellions and Marines across the field. So this one could end in the early going here, as Druby has quite the force at the front door. Going to try to focus down the Hellion of Greetorb, and he does so. Now going to be able to make his way in here, and these Hellions going to be very good against these SCVs, as they are forced to be pulled off the line by Greetorb, and a shot on these SCVs could be devastating. as we see Druby making his way into the mineral line, taking down the line of SCVs there, and now all these Marines going to try to kite backwards, do as much damage as they can to these SCVs. If we check the unit counting station, it is 22 SCVs to the 12 of Greetorb, but Greetorb gets up a Banshee. If he's able to take down these Marines, kiting them all around here, he may be able to fend off this attack, as he will get to air faster than Druby. And now the final Marine going down, and he needs to make sure he does not lose any more Harvesters, down to 12 SCVs compared to the 24 of Druby. So Druby, with the first blow there, getting out of medevac, and may prepare for some more pressure here. Greetorb getting up a command center, or at least attempting to. As Greetorb trying to repair this Hellion, and a drop coming in for Druby. No Marines on the field for Greetorb at the moment. Needs to get this Marine down here to fend off this medevac, as it's going to be quite annoying with the Hellion and the 2 Marines. And Druby just doing a little bit of a tour of the base of his opponent at this point. A Viking coming out for Greetorb, and a Viking coming in for Druby as well. So the 2 Vikings going to be on each other pretty quick. Druby did not get the first shot, so having to pull back with his Viking. And now Greetorb going to be able to take down this medevac. This Hellion coming in with its Marine buddy is going to try to take down more of Greetorb's army. But this Banshee going to be a hero Banshee on the defense here for Greetorb, able to take down these Marines. And now the Viking coming in here and sniping down the Viking of Greetorb. So Greetorb with just this Banshee trying to defend against all these Hellions, and another Viking coming out. He needs to kite back with this Banshee, and these Hellions doing work on the mineral lines. An opponent Hellion doing its best to take down the forces of Druby. And now we see 11 Harvesters, now 12 Harvesters to the 28 of Druby, back in the base of Druby, getting up tech labs on both the starport and a barracks, and his production structure is looking very healthy here. He's got 4 of them down, and then 3 add-ons about to be prepared. Just 1 add-on on the 3 production structures of Greetorb, and he's pumping out units out of all of these non-stop. He did cancel that command center, so getting a bit of minerals back, and going to have to use it to pump SCVs and just units right now to defend. So Druby with that early pressure in a very secure position, getting up a fast an expansion here, and putting down a missile turret, making sure that Banshees are not going to be able to do too much damage to his army in the front line here. Looks like Druby researching both stim and cloaking fields, so once those complete, his army is going to be quite devastating. Do see some swaps coming over for Greetorb, as he does try to get up a reactor as well. So you're going to be pumping Marines non-stop, and wonder what he will be doing with the tech lab on the factory. It looks like more Hellions coming out, and perhaps blue flame Hellions. So you're going to try to counter the numbers of Marines with blue flame Hellions, as we see Greetorb moving across the field with Banshees and Vikings. He does have air superiority at this point, but Druby has a ton of Marines going to be really able to fend off this airplay, as Greetorb does not have any cloaking done, even though these Banshees have a lot of energy saved up. So it looks like cloak about to finish for Druby, and pre-igniter about halfway done for Greetorb, so we'll see which tech choice proves to be the wiser, as Druby gets down siege tech as well, about to complete 1 siege tank, and getting up and running on this expansion. He has 32 Harvesters to the 19, so just needs to lean on his opponent. Greetorb has no expansion at this point, does have the superior army, but Druby is going to be able to take the superior army title in just a moment once his economy kicks in. All those production structures with those reactors kick in as well. And it looks like Druby does it right there, 1550 to 1350. And Greetorb trying to prepare some sort of timing here with this Infernal Pre-Igniter. Looks like Druby pushing out here, and he's not going to be able to see the high ground. He does not have any Banshees or Vikings here, and these Hellions just ripping apart those Marines, doing a lot of damage there. Pre-Igniter finishing right now, so now would be the opportune time for Greetorb to push out. If he can get those Marines in a line and take them all down, they're in a nice concave, focusing down those Hellions at first, and the siege tank's doing a lot of damage to those armored Hellions as well, and quickly cleaned up by Druby. So Druby in a very good position here. He's got a huge army. He's got the advantage as well, and it looks like he has actually had a Banshee in the base of Greetorb, so taking down a number of SCVs, and Greetorb giving the GG. So an action-packed TVT here, as Druby was able to win Game 7 and win the clan war for his team Root Gaming, topping Fnatic Gaming 4 games to 3. It was a back and forth clan war, some superstars on both teams, Kiwi Kaki taking a few games, Sen evening it up and actually putting his team ahead, and Druby coming from behind 2 straight wins to take down both Sen playing as an off race and Greetorb in a mirror matchup TVT. So Druby came out, really had the advantage from the get-go, got into Greetorb's base in the early going, was able to take down a number of SCVs, then Greetorb just playing from behind the entire time. Finally Cloak finished for Druby, and he was applying pressure to the SCV line as Greetorb pushed out the decent timing attack, but then maybe just a little bit of missed micro or bad positioning as the stim of Druby able to focus down those Hellions very quickly, and Druby left with the standing army, the superior economy, and just a very solid Terran versus Terran victory for the co-leader of Root Gaming. So as I mentioned, I really enjoyed these clan wars, and anytime I find a new one worth both of our times, I will cast it for you. So check out my channel Matron StarCraft at youtube.com for more clan war and SC2 action. Thanks for watching the series. Take care.